Hey, this is Dr. Tasha Rogers, and I am back. Dr. Tasha After Dark. Girls, let's get into it. And this is for the fellas, too. I need you guys to share this with anybody that you think can use the information. If you live in Atlanta, if you have a relative who lives in Atlanta, if you visit Atlanta on a regular basis, lock in. Okay? Because lock in. So, this video today is about Atlanta and us being the HIV capital damn near of the country. And on top of the fact that we're one of the blackest cities in the country, we got some work to do, y'all. And I know this falls on deaf ears. A lot of people hear HIV, oh, they ain't got nothing to do with me. HIV, oh, I don't need to hear that. I'm good. Let me give y'all a little bit. As black women, we are 12% of the population. We are 70% of the new HIV cases. It's somebody. It's somebody. Now, I speak all the time about HIV and HIV prevention in my practice. And I want to talk a little bit about what I think is actually happening here in Atlanta and how I'm going to help you dodge that bullet. Okay. First and foremost, I think that a lot of people don't believe that HIV is a thing anymore. And one side of that coin is a blessing and the other side is a curse. Okay. And the reason for that is the blessing is that I think we've gotten so much control of HIV. We've got it down to a pill a day or a shot or a couple of pills a day, whatever your regimen is. We've gotten it down to the point where we're treating it like a chronic disease. We're treating it like diabetes or hypertension, but it's still a thing. How do you contract HIV? There are a couple of different ways to contract HIV. You can contract HIV from sexual intercourse, which is the most common. And interestingly enough, it is easier for a male to contract HIV from another male than it is for him to contract it from a female. But it is possible. And obviously, females are contracting HIV from other males. You can get it from a blood transfusion. You can get it from IV drug use. And you can be born with it. You cannot get it from touching or hugging somebody. You cannot get it from kissing somebody. You cannot get it from eating after somebody. Okay? So let's just be clear about how and why this is happening. I think that everybody, Atlanta is a very interesting place in that the city is very sex positive. I tell people every time, I love Atlanta. I live in Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Atlanta has something for everybody. If you are a housewife, it got something for you. If you want a Proverbs 31 woman, it got something for you. You got a crowd for you. If you like being outside and you in the streets, it got something for you. Okay. No matter what it is you do, no matter what it is you into, Atlanta has a crowd for you. Atlanta has something for you. I think with Atlanta also being a very glamorous city, and that is the Black Hollywood, it is the city of haves and have nots. It is the city of the haves have. The haves have. And the have nots have not. And just like anywhere else, the have nots want what the haves have. Okay. And in some instances, I think that people do things and not necessarily in the safest way. And I think that we're in a space right now that HIV has been low on our radar because it has been controlled so well. But we have a problem, ladies and gents. As an OBGYN, obviously, I only see women for medical treatment. And I talk to more women who do not want to use condoms than men. They don't want to do it. They don't want to use it. And a lot of times, one of the things, and again, in my practice, I am big on I listen, I do not judge, but I am going to speak up. I ain't going to judge you, but I'm going to teach you and we going to move on. And one of the questions that I ask every single patient is, do you have protected or unprotected sex? Or, who are you currently having sex? Is it protected or unprotected? Gender, male, female, or both? And then we got some extra stuff up in there. I don't have that on the application just yet. We got to talk about that. But at the end of the day, Nine out of 10 people will say unprotected. And again, it's not a judgment. My question is, so your partner, don't care who it is, who you're having unprotected sex with, when is the last time you saw his STD testing with your own eyes? Not heard about it, saw it. And 9 out of 10 people will say never. I may get one that says, I saw it 6 months ago. He pulled up his my chart and I was able to take a look at it. Kudos to you, sister. 10 out of 10 recommend. But for the most part, none. And I'm like, so let me just say back to you what you said to me, because I'm not judging you. I just want to make sure I understand you. So you're having unprotected sex with somebody. Oftentimes, I'm like, well, how long have you guys been in a sexual relationship? Oh, a month and a half, 2 months. These are not 2 and 3 years. Not as if that would matter any, trust me. These are a month, 2 months, 3 months. And I'm like, well, so you're having unprotected sex with a new person, essentially. You don't know what their HIV status is. You have not asked what their HIV status is, and you have not given them an HIV status. And it's like, well, when you say it like that, say it like what? That what you doing? I say it like what? Again, I don't judge. You know, I don't know. I think honestly, and I'm gonna keep it, this talk is relative to Atlanta. I think because we have such a pick me mentality here in Atlanta. All of y'all hear about, oh, it's 23 women to each man and blah, 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 blah. It's some skewing that goes along with that. But yes, there's a crap load of women for each male. So I think that we have a situation where women are doing things to make themselves more desirable so they can be the pick. Those things are actually costing you your health, your well being, and sometimes your lives, because people are crazy. And if you've kind of communicated, you can do whatever to me, people are going to do whatever to you. You know, a lot of times you get doctors who say, well, she's not high risk and she's not low risk. What does that mean? I don't believe in high risk or low risk. Risk is risk. Risk is risk. So, what does high risk mean? Like you're single and you're outside? Or does it mean that you're low risk because you're married and you're only having sex with your husband? But what if your husband is having sex with everybody that's outside? Then you having sex with everybody that's outside. So what does that even mean? There's no, in my opinion, there's no low risk or high risk or any of the things. It is just risk. So I think that a lot of us don't want to accept the fact that no matter what, I don't care if you're 8 to 80, cripple or crazy, married, if you are having sex with another human being, you are at risk for HIV. At least admit that. Let's at least admit that. Okay. Now, as Black women, we have a very interesting dynamic, interestingly enough, because, people are like, well, because that's because everybody's on the down low. Y'all are right. Y'all are right. But the down low ain't that low and it ain't that down. Okay. Y'all not asking questions. Y'all are just not asking questions in the spirit of not wanting to be confrontational or not wanting somebody to think that, well, why do I need to be worried about you? Because, people can gaslight in a minute. The ones who do the most, they be like, well, I mean, are you out here in the streets? Sir, sir. Okay. Ma'am. Okay. But at the end of the day, this is a very, very, very dangerous environment. And it's because of the thinking, it's because of the environment that we're in. And if we don't accept that and stop thinking, a lot of times I think it's because people think they're better than other people. People think they're better than other people. Oh, that's not me. That's them. That's the people who be outside. That's the strippers. That's the young girls. That's the girls in Bankhead. That's the girl. No, from Bankhead to Buckhead, from stripper to judge, is everybody. Because I know that in my hood, back in Philly, there was always a S550 Benz in the projects. Y'all know it's always somebody got the boyfriend with the money. And honey, that's the married man who live across town who comes down to the projects to drop off his 500 or 1,000 a month. What y'all think is happening? What y'all think is going on? So low risk is not a thing in my mind. Okay. And everybody who's in any type of sexual situation is at risk. If you are having sex with somebody, be it your wife, be it your girlfriend, be it your jump off, be it your side piece, be it your pick me, and you are not free to have a conversation about sex, about HIV, you part of the problem. You are. If you, and I'm talking male and female, because if a woman will have sex with you without seeing your HIV test and without providing you her HIV test, this is what she does. This is what she does. So you're not getting over, bro. God only knows where you stick in your situation. And the same with the woman. No, he said he was good. He said he was tested. Of course. Of course. What are you going to say? Nah, you know, I got HIV, right? I ain't been a doctor in a minute. Come on, let's bust down. Of course, he's not going to say that. Okay. So the reality of the situation is if you have a man who will have sex with you and know absolutely nothing about you and have raw sex with you, that's a red flag. Do you think it means that you're his girlfriend? No. Do you think it means he's in love? No, he don't care. Obviously. Okay. And even if you're in a relationship, it's not like, oh, yeah, I got my testing done at the start of the relationship. No, you need to be getting your testing done every year to every 6 months. Now, let's say you're having sex with somebody, and I'm just telling you what should be done here in Atlanta. Let's say you're having sex with somebody and they don't have insurance, they can't get no testing, they can't get you a result. It's the weekend and you want to bust down. You just want, I mean, you just are craving this person, you want to bust down. Carry your tail to the store, not the grocery store, like the Walgreens, CVS, whatever. Carry your tail to the store and get an at home HIV kit. They sell them. An at home HIV kit, I want to say, is maybe like 40, $50. And it has like two Q-tips, two jaw swabs. And it's like you swab your jaw, he'll swab his jaw, and you put some drops on the swab. If it turns blue, somebody got HIV. It only takes 15 to 20 minutes for the test to complete itself. So if you really, really, really want to have sex with somebody, okay, go ahead and swab down. By the time y'all finish foreplay, you know what that person has, at least right at that second. So that's also something that you can do. But again, I think that we're in such a pick me, pick me. I want to be the girl. I want to be the one. I want to be the situation. There's so many different situations that we have going on. You know, we have it's just so much. And the reality of the situation is, how do you dodge a bullet? How do you dodge a bullet without seeming like a dud, without seeming like a killjoy, without being like, oh, don't nobody want to mess around with me because I'm always wanting this information. I'm always asking, how do you dodge this bullet? Well, I got a couple of things. First and foremost, you need to accept the fact that you can't control somebody else's actions. You can't control somebody else's behavior. Okay. A lot of women, when I say at the office, so you have no idea what his HIV status is. You're having unprotected sex with him. You continue to have unprotected sex with him. And my question is, so how do you feel about that? And I literally want your feelings, because who am I to judge? I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Who am I to judge? But I do want your feelings, because sometimes when you make people stop and think about things, they stop and think about things. And a lot of times what I hear is, well, I hadn't really thought about it until today. Well, that's kind of scary for me, because you're literally having unprotected sex with somebody and you never even thought about the importance of it. That's scary. And one of my questions is, what has this person done so magical, so amazing for you, to you, and with you, that you would literally risk your well being for them? And then it's a look of nothing. So I like to proactively deal with things. I don't want you come in, we did this, we did this, we did, and I'm scared, doc. Okay, I'm going to fix you. I'm going to get you together. We're going to have a conversation and we're going to get you to a better place. But how about come talk to me before that and figure out what I can do for you before that, before we get to a place of where we got to be scared as hell? Because we can advocate, we want to talk for ourselves about these braids and this cankaline, whatever y'all call it, hair that's causing all this stuff that got the bugs in it, that's causing fungal infections in the hair. We want to talk about relaxers and cancer. We want to talk about how we shouldn't be eating this. We want to talk about how we shouldn't be doing this. We want to talk about all these things, but y'all are literally having raw sex with people you know absolutely nothing about. These are my health nuts and my health advocates. Make it make sense. Like you can't pick and choose. Make it make sense. It's out here. Again, I think for our younger generations, our Gen Zs and our millennials, because I think we had so much control. Let me tell you what HIV was when I was young. We didn't know it was the boogeyman virus. They used to really equate it with being gay and men having sex with men. We know now that it's across the board, and actually the largest demographic that is picking up HIV is Black women. We are the demographic. We are yet again the audience. Okay. But back in my day, it was don't hug me, don't touch me, don't kiss my kids. Whatever silverware, plate, or glass they eat off of, throw it away. They need to sit on some newspaper when they come over here. They cannot use the bathroom over here. If they do, bleach it down and don't nobody use the bathroom after them, around them, or any of the things. They probably used to take about 40 pills 2 to 3 times a day, and it was expensive as hell. 40 pills. Imagine taking 40 pills 2 to 3 times a day, and you didn't still even get to undetectable the way that now people are taking one pill a day. They are living fine, no signs or symptoms of being HIV positive. They are undetectable. And the reason a lot of times people will say, oh, I don't have HIV, they may have HIV, but they're undetectable. So they feel like if they're undetectable, they don't need to disclose it. Okay. And another thing where people are getting in trouble somewhere along the line, it came through that if you're HIV positive and you don't tell, you going to jail. That's a lie. That's a lie. That is not true. I don't know who told y'all that. Your health is your responsibility. I know y'all saw that video on IG where the girl was like, I ain't telling you nothing. If you don't ask me, you don't want to see some tests, that's your responsibility. Your health and your safety is your responsibility, not mine. And she was actually right. She was actually right in the spirit of no, there's no law that says if you have HIV and you don't disclose that, you going to jail for murder. No. Okay, so this is where it comes in. It be the bad chicks. It be the fine dudes, because HIV doesn't have a look. You think it look broke down and sick? No. You think it look not fly? No. Sometimes it look flyer because maybe they feel like somebody's gonna ask and they have to be more desirable. I don't know, but it don't have a look. It don't have a sound. It don't have a smell. It doesn't have a demographic. It doesn't have a tax bracket. It is what it is. Some of your lawyers, some of your judges, it is what it is. Some of your teachers, some of your bankers, you never know. And it actually doesn't matter. But the point is that it's a lot of, and is it gonna kill me? It's not going to kill you anymore in this day and age. We have great control. But the doctor's visits are a killer. The increased surveillance is a killer. Going and take the time to get your prescriptions refilled, getting blood testing, like making sure you're not becoming resistant to the medication, making sure you're staying undetectable, deciding whether to disclose this information or not. Encouraging every patient you're in a sexual relationship with to be on PrEP. Is somebody going to walk out of my life that I truly love? Now we're ready to have sex. Now I'm ready to be in a serious relationship with them. And now I have to disclose my status, or now I want to disclose my status. And will they walk away from me? So it's not all about will it kill me? Because if it makes your current existence less than desirable, it might not be too much different, right? So here in Atlanta, let me talk to you guys about how to dodge a bullet. One of the things that saddens me so much is oftentimes I have to force women to get tested. I give grace with this because I know it of a lot of fear comes with it. I know what I've done. I know who I slept with. I know how many I slept with, and I'm scared. I'm scared to know. And I usually will have this conversation like, we need a starting point. You need to know. Very seldom. In my 24-year career, I've probably diagnosed less than 10 people with HIV. Okay. So again, we have great control over it, right? But for my patients who are just afraid, I don't push. I think that's inappropriate. I think it's bullying. And I think it happens too much in women's health. So I do not push when it comes to testing for HIV. What I will say is, especially for new patients, now my patients who know me, they're like, Doc, you know how we do, run it. And we do all the testing. But if you're a new patient, especially, and coming to me, I make sure you're comfortable. And I'm like, listen, If this is something you don't want to do right now, the policy at my practice is I have an open door when it comes to blood work. You don't have to have an appointment to see me. As long as you're my patient, you can walk in and say, I want to get tested for everything. Now, you want to get vaginal testing, you need an appointment because I got to be able to. But if you just want blood testing, you can come in, get your blood test done at the lab, and walk out. No explanation, no questions, no nothing. You can get tested at any time for anything. And then what I also suggest for my patients is if you're getting HIV testing, you're anxious about HIV testing, please get the testing done in the beginning of the week. My lab gets testing back within 24 hours. Literally, if you come on Monday, your test going to be back on Tuesday. But every place is not like that. So if it's going to be 24 to 48 hours or even 72 hours, if you get your blood testing done on Monday, your stuff is going to be back by Wednesday. Okay, so you don't want to go into the weekend kind of worried, kind of scared. So I will kind of give little tips and tricks like that. And until you get comfortable with me. But my thing is, and even if you come in and say, no, I don't want testing, and you write no on your paper, we have a conversation and you're like, well, I can get tested. I feel like I bullied you. I educated you, but at the same time, my goal was not to change your mind. My goal was to just educate you so I still won't draw it. And then I'll say, no, we're not going to draw it because initially you didn't want it drawn. But now you have the information so you can come back whenever you want to. And if they're like, no, I really want it done. I just said that because I didn't want to pay. Or I really want it done. I just said, then I'll do it. But if they're kind of on the fence and like, well, I can get it done. No, it's not my visit. It's yours. But I want you guys to see the importance of this. Okay. You can have sex with somebody, not think anything of it 6 weeks later because it takes HIV 6 weeks to show up in your testing. Okay. Once you have been exposed to HIV, it is 72 hours. 72 hours, and it starts making copies in your body. Okay. And we'll talk about how we're going to deal with that too. But 72 hours, it starts making copies in your body. And at 6 weeks, your blood testing becomes positive. Okay. Now, I need you guys to see the importance of getting tested. I don't care. You had sex with somebody and you don't put the condom on, you didn't put it, whatever. You've been exposed. You're not sure if you've been exposed. Don't be afraid to get testing. If you got to get testing every month, come get your testing. You got to get testing every 8 weeks, come get your testing. Do what you have to do to make sure you know your status. Make sure you're always current on your status. What is my HIV status? Even if you feel like you're not at risk, oh no, we're just having sex with each other. No, you're just having sex with him. You don't know who he's having sex with. No, we're together all the time. You're not together all the time, sis. Trust me, you're not. Okay. And it's not that he's not trustworthy, because I'm sure he's trustworthy. You're in a relationship with him or you're in a situationship with him, but he is human. And none of us are above a mistake. Okay. Or a situation, whatever the case may be. Okay. How I used to put it to my patients, right? Here's what I say. And, this is why I be in a room so long with my patients. But I have a female and a male scenario. So the female scenario basically says, so you out, you never go out, you're in a relationship, you home, you comfortable, you love your life, this, that, and the third. But it's your girlfriend's 30th birthday. And y'all want to go out, all the girls are getting together. So you like, okay, babe, I'm going out with my friends. He like, all right, go ahead. So in true relationship fashion, what you gonna do? 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have sex before you leave out the house. Whatever, that's how it goes. So you go out with your girlfriends, you leave out the house, a Proverbs 31 woman, right? You at the club with your friends. So now you got this guy like Tamika. You see him, he in a VIP section. You like, who is that? This is the basketball player that you went to high school with, right? Now he played for one of the basketball teams, right? He like, come on, come on. So your friend's like, oh girl, you know him? You like, yeah, girl, that's my friend. So now y'all in the VIP section, right? And they all impressed, you all excited. You ain't seen this boy since high school, whatever. I guess he used to like you in high school, whatever. He like, come on, let's go catch up. Let's go talk, right? So now you in the back of the G-Wagon with him because y'all just having a conversation. He like, no, you so pretty. I used to like you so much in school. I wanted to do this, that, and the third. And he just hands you a pocket full of money. No, go buy yourself something nice. This ain't about nothing. Just go buy yourself something nice. I'm so happy to see you. So now y'all talking, y'all kikiing, y'all going back and forth, back and forth. He go down on you. Okay. Now he come up and boom, he stick it right in. Before you get a chance to be like, what the? He's done. Right. So now you taking a walk of shame back into the club. Right. And God knows, I hope you ain't ovulating. So you taking a walk of shame back in the club. So now you got a pocket full of money for your troubles. You have had unprotected sex with somebody who be in those streets because just by nature of what he does. You walking into the club with your girlfriends, your face is just straight. You don't know what to do. And it's the second episode of unprotected sex you had in 24 hours. You don't went from Proverbs 31, a sexy red real fast. Real fast. It can happen. It's not that you're not trustworthy. It's not that you're not a good woman. You were a victim of circumstance. You weren't assaulted. You were not assaulted. This is what you were okay with this. You didn't, no. You didn't say, no, 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 don't do that to me. No, 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 no. You were not assaulted. You were a victim of circumstance and things just move quick. Same for him. He at work doing double shift or whatever because y'all going on a trip. So some girl at the job. Well, I used to get awards for my blowjobs, right? He ain't stunned about that girl. Want to see? What man gonna say no? He gonna be like, well, all right, then. I mean, all right. So then he get a blowjob. She willing to give it up. She ain't got no drawers on. She willing to give it up. Ain't no condom present. Bam, he hit it. Now, he don't even know this girl name. He ain't studying about this girl. He don't work the double shift trying to get extra money for you, this bag, this trip, whatever it is you trying to achieve. This man ain't studying about this girl, but guess what? Victim of circumstance. So now he's come home fully exposed, right? So this is what I'm saying by there's no such thing as high risk or low risk. This is not, oh, we together all the time. No, you're not. Oh, I don't have to worry about that with him or her. Yes, you do. Testing is never about trust. Testing is about your well being. Testing is about knowing where you stand. And trust me, please do not think that what he has or what you have is an indication of what he has. People be like, no, I got tested 6 months ago and I was fine, so I know he's okay. No, ma'am. So, yes, I have had an instance of patients that a patient whose husband couldn't figure out what was going on with him, couldn't figure out what was going on. And this is where the prejudices come in medicine. They have been, they have been married for 20 years. This man was losing weight. He had respiratory issues. He had all the things. All the things. They couldn't figure out what was going on with this man. He was literally dying in front of their faces. Couldn't figure it out. Nobody had done an HIV test. Went to the ER, had a black female ER physician. They broke it down to her like, listen, this was going on. We can't figure it out. Da, 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 da. She looked through all the information, hadn't seen an HIV test, did an HIV test, HIV. This man had full-blown AIDS. Now, maybe, and this is my patient, I used to test her on a regular basis. Like I test all of my patients. She was negative and remains negative. Now, I don't know what the sexual schedule was. I have no idea, but this man had full-blown AIDS and she was not affected at all. So please do not think that because you're fine, he's fine. He needs to be tested and you need to be tested. And my thing is that if y'all are as tight as you think you are, or y'all are as tight as you trying to put it across, what's the problem? Why can't everything be above board? And I often say to women, yes, I got your attention with the HIV thing, but when's the last time he been to the doctor? When's the last time he had his balls checked, his prostate checked? Anything, check some blood testing done. It's not all about an STD. When was he checked? This is somebody you love. You came to get checked. Did you make sure does your husband have a boyfriend, man, have a urologist? He has a whole appendage hanging from his body. He don't need a special doctor for that. I mean, I'm just wondering. I mean, so at the end of the day, his health is your health and vice versa. So don't get into he ain't in the streets, I'm in the streets. We ain't got to worry about that, this, that, and the third. Because you know what the biggest age group is? It is that age group where I done raised my kids. I'm divorced. I'm coming back outside. The house is empty. And that's going to be from like that mid to upper 30s to like that lower 50s. Y'all are the ones getting got. Child, we passed all that in our lives. I had a patient say, I'm like, well, I'm in a new sexual relationship. I said, okay, well, let's update your testing so you can show him and you can see he's clean. And I wanted to jump out my skin because you've been my patient for years. What does that even mean? Like, I have not been sinking in at all. What does he's clean mean? I say, have you seen his testing? No, but we're past all that. Past all what? And it's the thinking for me. It's the thinking for me. So oftentimes, this is why I'm like, I need you guys advocating for yourselves, even with your partners. Don't have a pick me mentality. Don't have a I don't want to be confrontational mentality. Don't have a I don't necessarily want to talk about this mentality. We need to talk about it. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we stay up to date on our testing. After we come out of denial and realize that no matter what type of relationship we're in, we are all susceptible. That's the first thing, foremost thing. So realizing that you are potentially at risk. Second of all, making sure your testing stays up to date to know what your situation is. And third and foremost, HIV prevention. Did you guys know that there were meds to prevent HIV? Now, in my opinion, the treatment, the prevention is the treatment. Okay. And what does that mean? That essentially means that we all watch these commercials on TV, which pisses me off. And I've really displayed my pissed offness with the drug companies. I really, really have. Because none of us are going to be interested in taking a medication that we don't feel like is marketed toward us, or we don't feel like it's for us. No shade, no tea. These commercials for HIV prevention meds come on in the middle of the night as if that's when the high risk patients are up. They come in the middle of the night. They discuss, do you see gay people? You see trans people? You see, I don't really know all the terms, but gay people, trans people, I don't want to leave anybody out. Non-binary, everybody's up in that commercial except the largest demographic, which is a heterosexual black woman. No, she's not in that. And I said that to them. I was like, where are all my sorority sisters stepping? Where are my soccer moms? Where are my single moms? Where are my lawyer black women walking down the street on a cell phone? Because that's when they're going to look and say, "Oh, this is me. What are they selling? What are they giving? How does this benefit me?" If I see a trans woman or trans man, if that's not me, I'm no longer listening. And I've been saying that to the drug companies for a minute, which sometimes make me wonder, are they really trying to put a dent in this demographic? Lest we go there, that's another podcast. Now, the point is that there is medication to prevent HIV. Okay. And let me just give you a little bit of background on this medication. First of all, there are two different things. You have pills and you have a shot. Okay. You have PrEP and you have PEP. Okay. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis. That means I have regular sex and I want to be protected from HIV. It is not a demographic. I have rappers' girlfriends, I have NBA girlfriends, I have NFL wives. It does not matter. If you want to be protected from HIV, this medication is for you. 8 to 80, crippling crazy. If you're having sex with another individual, you are good to take it. Obviously, talk to your provider and all that kind of good stuff. But for the most part, it is for you. It is not for a particular gender. It is not for a particular sexuality. It is for a human being who's having sex with another human being. How about that? Now, we have PEP, which is post exposure. And that is a situation where it's an episodic thing. You want to be protected from a particular episode. I had an episode that was unprotected. I had an assault. I had a condom break, all the different things. So we have PrEP, where we continuously do a thing. And then we have PEP, which is episodic. Make sense? Okay, now for PrEP, let me just add in there, outside of a pill that you would take every day, for PrEP, there's an injection, and the injection is every 2 months. Okay, so when it comes to HIV prevention, there's a bunch of different ways that we can do it. Now, let me talk about how it works, because a lot of people are like, oh, so you got to introduce HIV into your body in order to. No. As I said previously in the video, it takes 72 hours for HIV to start to make copies. So let's say you have sex with somebody unprotected, you don't know their status. If they are HIV positive, you get 72 hours before your body starts to make copies, and now you're HIV positive, right? Well, if you get to a provider, any ER, any urgent care that's going to know what to do, any doctor that's going to know what to do. If you start taking this medicine before the 72 hours, and hopefully the sooner the better. 12 hours in, 6 hours in, the earlier you take it from the incident, the higher your risk of it actually working, okay? But if you do this before the 72 hours, the pill has a 98+% rate of protection against HIV. And that's pretty damn good. The shot which is for PrEP, is every 2 months. And that has a 99+% effective rate. Okay. So understand this is not 50%, but no, these are, nobody's ever going to say 100%, but these are 98 and 99% effective. So the cure right now is in the prevention, and they're not marketing to us. They're not marketing to the people who need to see it in the way that they need to see it. A Black female who has children, who doesn't have children, who's a professional, who, baby, who's to say we up at midnight? Why you can't market this at 6 o'clock? You act like it's a risque kind of medication. It's not. Why can't you put that in the middle of the world news or 60 Minutes or TMZ or whatever the case may be? You make it like it's something so, I don't want to talk about it. Why? Talk about it. This is why we're number 3 in the nation for HIV. Like in 2025, like I can't even fathom that. And I'm pissed off with the city of Atlanta too. Let's give it to everybody, because, and I haven't even looked at the statistics for like 22 or 23, but back in 2021, every city gets federal funding for HIV. We actually turned back. When I say we, I mean Fulton County. I mean the city of Atlanta actually turned back $21 million to the federal government unused for HIV. Make it make sense. The commissioner of Fulton County is also the director of the HIV panel for the city. So you know what's going on because you're the director of this. And we did not allocate the funds. And so therefore, because we didn't allocate them, we turned them back. We have HIV patients who can't get dental care. We have HIV patients who are homeless. We have HIV patients who are doing strange things for some change because they don't have a way. But you turn back $21 million. Make it make sense. So there are so many different things here that are coming to play. So many things we can't control, but the one thing that you can control is yourself, sis. So if I can implore you to do anything, change your thinking. Change your thinking about what risk is. That's the first thing. Second of all, don't think you're too good for testing. Don't think you're too good for testing. That's somebody else's drama. That's not your drama, because that's not the case. And third thing, if it applies, great. Eat the meat and throw away the bones. If HIV prevention can protect you, sis, it's okay. And I'm not just talking to my sisters, I'm talking to my bros as well. I'm saying sis because that's who I talk to most of the time. But I'm talking to my bros as well. If this can help you, let it help you. Dodge that bullet. Dodge that bullet. I hope this touched somebody. I hope you guys heard me. I hope that this was a benefit to somebody and not a killjoy, but the truth is the truth, and you all need to hear it the way it needs to be said. Thank you for listening. This is Dr. Tasha on another episode of Dr. Tasha After Dark. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you the next time.